How are you doing, Anne?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Sorry, everyone, for the slight delay. I was trying to get everything set up, but Anne was helping me along the way, so we got it all put together.
It still is blurry on my screen, Pink, but you look great on your
Okay.
stream, so we just roll with it
Okay.
because I don't know what settings on how to fix that, unfortunately. But
Yeah, I don't either.
it looks fine on your screen. I think it's just something in a stream setting somewhere, and I don't know if it's on your side, my side, Twitch's side. So
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, we could be here for a long time trying to figure it out. Hey, Isaac, thank you so much for coming in. Thanks for the alert. I appreciate you. All right, let's see. Is mine even playing? Okay. Awesome.
it might be a stream together setting that I'm just not aware of because I mean, I look great on your side, so
Yeah, you look great. I mean, I'm not seeing nothing like go on my end really either. So it's like in and out maybe. But yeah, I'll just leave it to like the internet or Twitch.
yeah. So it's all good.
Yes, but I am ready to get into the fog.
Me as well. So you can start us off if you like. What you want to talk about? I've got the notes pulled up from our
Okay.
draft, but start wherever you'd like. There's a lot to go over.
Yes, there is. I think for me foremost is kind of going over like what we like or dislike. With like as far as like all the different changes and like going into the reworks of certain killers and stuff like that.
Okay, sure. I'm down with that.
Okay. Um hey Demon, thanks so much for the check-in. For me, I feel like as killer wise for me, as I mentioned yesterday, I feel like for Huntress, she's a pretty strong killer to me in my opinion with like how she, playing her with the hatchets and like just being able to be more stealthy, in that aspect of like her combat more so. Um, but apart from that, I would say um, she for me is like my top pick. Second pick would probably be um, Oni, probably second to me. Mostly just anyone like that is good with him. It just seems very quick and terrifying at the same time. Um, But yeah, I would say like those are like my top two. And then obviously like the list goes on. What about you?
So top two killers.
Yeah.
Um, I personally favor the pig. I just like because she's also kind of stealthy, and then she has an ambush
Hmm.
that if you're not careful, you won't hear it until the last minute, and by that time you're already downed or hit.
Yeah. It's too
Um,
late. Yeah.
and I think the other killer would probably be this is a killer that I don't play, would probably be the ghoul, just because I don't see a way to outplay them unless they're just very new and don't know how to play them.
Hmm.
Because I feel like you could be on a very large map and you still gotta like be paranoid around every corner that they're just gonna pop up and be there for you.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about
Um,
it.
no, it's true. I mean, when I tried playing as him, for like, I don't know, second, third match, I can't figure out the lunge attack. I know that he can go over the pallet, and that is where most people, survivors get downed easily. But it's like you have to be accurate at where you do your leap, and then goes into the animation of the biting people, getting them. but it's like so fast and precise that it's easily missed. So I do feel like you have to kind of like work with it. It seemed like super easy. I thought it'd be, but for me, it's like kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
But when we're going up against him, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so quick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I don't.
Yeah, he's one of those killers that is you have to play very carefully, but he's also just very annoying because it's like you could go all the way
Yep.
across the map again, and then he's just like there.
Well, let
So
me tell you this: if you had to choose between Trickster or the Ghoul, because those are my two annoying, which would you rather take than the other?
I'd probably rather have Trickster because I feel like they're a bit easier to outplay, in my opinion. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
What about the changes like so far with the rework for Myers? How do you feel on that?
Scary. We've played so many games against him recently, and each time it just hasn't really worked out well for us, it seems. It's just like when we loaded in the other night when it was us and the full crew, and we were all down in less than like 2 minutes, and that was the game. And it's just like, did the killer even have fun? I mean, that was it. So like, I don't know, right? So it was really weird. But and
Yeah,
then we had a game like we played last night where it was a bit more strategic and it lasted a bit longer, but I still think only one person got out.
yeah.
Maybe, or maybe they
Hmm.
got worried, I don't remember. But you and I tried really hard, and then like, we still died. So I don't like the fact that he just has an insane speed boost or haste or whatever you want to
Well,
call it. I don't like it.
yeah, and it's crazy because it's like, I don't know, like he's just, it seems just like so fast, like he's storming at you, kind of like a Wesker, but like Wesker is like, I don't know, it's just like their animation of like running like after you, but obviously he's not running, but it just feels like he's like, I don't know, speed walking so
Yeah,
fast that you. But I
absolutely.
don't know. It just feels like you said, just rather quick and like I don't know. In a match I was in yesterday with him, I know like until he has his power, like the evil incarnate or whatever, then it's like you don't hear nothing. It's like the whole map is silent, and then that's what's terrifying. Is like it's so quiet, and then he just gets you, and then it's just
Mm.
like, oh my gosh, where'd you come from?
Yep, absolutely.
So
It's crazy.
it is terrifying for that reason. But yeah, I don't know. There was like 5 or I think 6 matches I had with them yesterday. People were definitely I feel like people are playing him even more now. Just because the fact that, like he is leaving, from the fog, but I feel like he is a very popular killer. Um, all my matches that I'm in, I always come across him in some like either beginning or end of the games.
Yeah,
So I feel like he's pretty popular.
I would agree. And he goes away from the game tomorrow. So if you have not purchased Myers yet, or Lori, feel free to do so before the 19th, 'cause they go away forever. Well, maybe not forever, but for a time.
Yeah, for a time.
And this is Michael's second time leaving the store, right? Didn't he leave once before, or was that another character?
To be honest, I'm not 100% sure because I only just came into the game this past year. So I'm not sure.
I thought he had left once before, but I'm thinking of.
Let's see.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Demogorgon. That's the one that left before.
Oh,
And
for
then they.
the Stranger Things chapter, yeah.
Yes, you're right, Otaku Boy.
What was he saying?
He said Demogorgon left and came back.
Yep. Yep. So, I guess since we're on this topic already, are you excited for the chapter 2 Stranger Things for the 27th?
I am. And I am waiting for everyone to just insta-lock Vecna and that be the killer we see for a while, and see all the Stranger Things survivors out there, all the Eddies and the Robins and everybody else that's gonna be in the game. Super excited. And the perks. They've got some really good perks. I've seen people speculating online in different spaces, so like Reddit, TikTok, talking about like, oh, you can do this and you can do that, and you could pair it with this, and like you can just kind of loop killers and whatnot. And I think a lot of people are very happy now that you'll be able to mount that one perk that lets you put like the cold bomb or whatever on pallets. You can put it on like windows
Mhm.
now. I don't know the name of the perk, so because I don't run it, but you'll be able to put that on like windows now. So people are like super cool about that, and they think that that's pretty neat. So, what do you think about that?
I think that would be great because a lot of people already like use a lot of like different perks for the anything palettes really, and just being able to use them in the right timing. I feel like people are excited for that. I need Dustin's perk. I think it's the full circuit one or whatever for the gens, because I'll have a more range for the skill checks. So I'm excited for that one. But for you, what would you say is your like survivor from Stranger Things that you're going to be getting? Or survivors?
Um, gonna be getting Dustin for sure. I feel like if we were the same age in the timeline that they're in, that we'd be friends, because I too am like the awkward nerd of the group, if that makes sense, but like can be quirky and smart.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be getting Dustin. I already have Steve, but he's been out for a while, so. But I do know that Steve is getting new voice lines. Steve and Nancy are getting new voice
Oh
lines.
yeah. I'm
Um,
excited for their new ones.
so that'll be nice to kind of look at and see. And
Yes.
I pinned a comment, Pink, so that people wouldn't come into stream and be like, "Pink's blurry on your stream." We've tried to fix it for about 45 minutes. We were running behind, and we're just rolling with it. Go to Pink's stream if you want to see
Yeah,
everybody in
we're
HD fashion.
honestly yes, we're honestly just rolling with it because this is honestly too my first time. Like I haven't done like just chatting really. I mean, everything mostly since I've started stream has been about gameplay and stuff, which is super fun and everything, but I feel like you can't give a chat or like the audience, a full like without being distracted, I'm saying, because I get easily distracted. So it's nice to just chat and talk about everything.
I think, though, for the next time we do this, I have a way to resolve all this without having to use Stream Manager, because I remember when I used to participate in competitions where you would answer like it was like quizzes and you could win like money and gift cards and stuff like that. They
Mhm.
used Video Ninja, and that worked really, really
Okay.
well. So next time we can use that instead, because it's all browser based, but it's less intensive on your CPU and all that kind
Just
of good
like
stuff.
stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we can give that a try next time. And that's what I was talking about this morning when I messaged you. Like, hey, I have another way we can maybe do this, if you want to test it out. So we can always try that next time. But for now, this is working. We look great on your stream. I'm sure it's just a setting, probably either in my stream setup or something that I just have to like go and find and turn on or turn off. I'm not sure. But
Mhm.
because you look the same in the stream manager as well, but on your stream you look fine, so I don't really know. but it's fine.
Yeah.
People can hear us, people
Yeah.
can see us, people can see the gameplay we
Yeah,
got
I
going
mean,
on in the
I think
background.
honestly yeah, I think honestly it's just hearing us and, like, what we're talking about today is all that matters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. My favorite character from the Stranger Things, as a whole, like with the series, is 11. But I do love Steve still 100%. And Nancy. I feel like those are my top three characters that I love in the show. But I do love that within the whole series, each character has their own like story behind them and who they are, and some are shown as more important, but at the end of the day, they're all friends that come together and have to work together and all
Yeah.
that. So I really like that like storyline friendship.
Yeah. I think that's really cool. And I know when we played the PTB, almost everybody was playing Stranger Things Survivor and
Mm-hmm.
testing them out and seeing,
Yep.
how their perks worked and how, they worked with certain things. The visual elements of each survivor looks amazing. They've done a really well done job on going from a concept to how they look in game. They even updated the way Nancy's face looked, which I think, like I mentioned the other night in your stream, I think they did that so that she could look more on par with the newer survivors coming out.
Yeah, with everyone.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and they did a great job on how everybody looks, so good job to them on that.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like they all look they would. Uh,
But I think that my favorite new perk survivor that's coming in would be the one I was talking about, but it's on Dustin. It's called Bada Bada Boom, and it reads
mhm.
as after completing 20% worth of repairs, press the ability button 1 next to a window to trap it for 40, 50, 60 seconds. The trap triggers when the killer performs a vault on the window, inflicting them with 50% hindered for 6 seconds, which I think is cool because you can pair that with, I think, another perk, another slow perk, the one that like freezes them or whatever, and then they get slowed even
Mhm.
more. And I've seen someone pair it with a perk that gives you like sprint burst, and then you pair that with something else to give you extra like haste or longer sprint burst or something. So then you pit all that extra distance between you and the killer.
Yeah, no, that sounds like it would work out in our favor pretty well.
But
So I'm excited.
what upcoming new perk do you like the most?
Mm,
This wasn't
I
there
would
one you
still
like in the PTB that did like it made like the skill checks bigger or something?
Yeah, that was from Dustin. Let me see what that um I think it was something
Oh, I see it.
circuit, wasn't it?
Yeah, teamwork full circuit. I see it.
Yeah, full circuit. There you go. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I would say that one just because like I said, I am very bad at looking at chat, and then I should stop, but I don't. I don't stop myself. I just continue I continue working on the gen while looking over at the chat, and then I miss it once the skill check comes up, and so yeah, I think it would work in my favor.
All good. Okay. Very, very cool. Let's see. Michael Myers tomato throw. Well, he's going away tomorrow, Serial Sensei. He'll be gone for the foreseeable future. Probably never to be
Yeah.
seen again unless you buy him before then, and then he'll
Yeah.
still be in your, he just won't be available in the store for purchase. Him, Laurie Strode, and the map is going away as well. Which is weird. I wish the map wasn't going away because I really like that map for Pig. It's a really good map for
Mhm.
her.
Yeah,
So,
I
but
agree.
oh well. Darn.
More new things to come. I will say that I feel like
My goodness.
we need new maps to come to the fog just to kind of like give us some more um you know scenery and like try it out with the killers and playing as survivor.
They are releasing a new map in March of this year. So we'll kind of get that. There's not really a lot of details out on it right now, unless I mean I'm sure you could go to Reddit and data mine, but that's not what we're doing. Just popping in to say hi, about to take my old man nap. Well, enjoy your nap.
Um,
Thanks for hopping in. Um,
yes, thanks for coming in.
Appreciate you. So, what do you feel? Let's keep on with the Stranger Things vibes going. Like, how do you feel about Vecna?
I feel Vecna is really good in the sense of like I didn't expect them to have like the whole clock like chime thing, which was pretty cool hearing it, and the animation and the music when you go to it and you have to, you know, give yourself more time. Or your time's up. And then I did not know this, but he has like different Moris. And then it's cool that he says the character's name, like Robin, Dustin, Nancy, and Steve. Like, so anytime, you know, you get Mori'd or whichever, then he says, your time's up, and then says their name, which I think is super cool to have added that with them. But yeah, there's like two different Moris. There's the time up Mori and then the regular like Mori.
Okay. I
So I think it's
um
pretty cool.
I really enjoyed playing against him in the PTB. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think there was one game that we survived from him. I could be wrong on that, but he's got a lot of pressure on any map that he's on, really, from
Hmm.
what I remember. But I think he's gonna be a lot of fun. Like the whole premise from when they announced him, and people were like, "Well, people are gonna get him confused with the other Vecna," and it's like, not really. Because it's like, do you want to play Dungeons and Dragons or do you want to be in Stranger Things? Even though, Vecna is in technically both, but they both look completely different. And so you just kind of have
Yeah.
to sit there and think about, like, well, do I want to this, or this?
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like it was fun and like I said, um it's a lot of new changes and it was cool that they have like the animations as they did the like sound. It was cool that inside the map was like a reddish, you know, tint, then it changed, you know, just all the effects that they put into it seems really fun.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited for it to come.
And piggybacking off of what you said, I also like the what is it, where you have to go and stand at like and listen to the music. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
I like that. I do wish that they were playing like different tracks for different survivors depending on like who's listening. So like if you're like
Yeah,
Eddie,
that'd be
you
cool.
hear something different. If you're Robin, you hear something different. I think that would be cool, but I don't know how feasible that would be. And it was probably just easier to just pick one track for everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
Um, Other than that, would you say you're going to get him as killer?
I think I'll probably give him a try at some point. I am very set on who I play as killer for the most part. Like I like to be in my comfy space.
Yeah,
So
that's
I'll
yeah.
probably give him a try at some point and see, like, do I like him? Do I not like him? You know, or at least give him a try out in customs and see if I like him. So
Yeah, cuz customs would be fun between all of us crew. Um,
absolutely. They Stranger Things officially releases on January 27th, 2026.
hey CH, how are you? Long time no
So
see.
be sure to grab those up, jump in, and your Stranger Things fix. Um, Do you think before they officially release Vecna that they're going to kind of nerf him a bit, or do you think that he's going to stay at a similar tier as he was when we played on PTB? What do you think?
Um, I feel like uh that's so hard. I feel like they probably will put like more of like a cooldown on like the M1 attacks. Um More so just like because it did seem like for the PTB part, which it is, but I feel like it was like you could use it and like kind of spam it and
Right.
not have like much of a cooldown. Like he could do it whenever. So I do feel like maybe if that was something if there was a change, I'm saying, then I feel like it would be that to
Right.
have a cooldown.
I think that there'll be some changes to him before he officially releases. Maybe not so much on the Survivor side. I feel like they're probably pretty good, but you
Yep.
never know, to be honest. So,
Yeah.
so let's do a quick poll. For the Stranger Things 2 or Stranger Things Chapter 2, how would you gauge your hype level for it? Are you like 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest? How would you? I know you love Stranger Things. I remember you talking about binge watching like the last season, and So how excited are you for Chapter 2 Stranger Things coming out?
Honestly, the day it comes out, I'm buying them. So I would say it's a 10.
I think that's absolutely fair.
Uh,
Nothing wrong with that. Really awesome, really awesome. I
um,
would say that mine's probably around probably like a 7. Just
okay.
because even though I like the series, I don't know.
You don't know.
Just like I like it,
That's fair.
but I'm not like, "Oh, I gotta go buy it right now." And there's nothing wrong with either of those. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's great to be excited about stuff in a video game you play constantly, and I know you and I play Dead by Daylight like almost every day, so
Yeah, we do.
we might have a problem, Pink, but it's okay. It could be worse.
Uh, yes, it could. Oh no, I just like I said, I don't know. I just if I met them, like even like I don't know, like whenever, I would just be excited. I would be fangirling hard. I mean, I feel like I love again their characters. I love who they like played as, and now to be in a game that I love too. That's why I'm more excited.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Sure, sure.
do I still play Isaac? Yes, I do. CH. Just I'm now on the road of Dead by Daylight. So I'm always on Dead by Daylight, but that is where I started, yes.
Flo comes in, it says the ghoul. It says hype.
He always sets the goal. Like even like the split second that like he comes in, I'm like he's like, I have a suggestion. I'm like, the ghoul, isn't it? And then there goes his writing for the ghoul.
Nothing wrong
Oh my
with that.
gosh.
Uh,
No, he loves the ghoul.
so nothing wrong with that. Nothing that at all. I think they did a great job with that killer as well. Um,
Yes.
but let's circle back for a minute to the Halloween chapter, leaving the store. How do you feel about Myers leaving the store? I know you already own this killer. I don't own this killer. I'll probably buy them this evening. But how do you feel about him leaving and people not getting a chance to who might be getting into Dead by Daylight and not being able to buy this killer?
I really enjoy him, mostly because I am a Halloween fan. I love his movies. And I feel like again he's a big part of Dead by Daylight. And he is popular, so I feel like a lot of people are going to miss out if they don't get him before tomorrow.
Right.
Um, so I would say definitely, like you said, get him if you want to get him. But he's just a fun killer to play. I mean, I don't like always get 4Ks, but even if I don't, I just think it's fun and it's cool to be him.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
but
that's
yeah,
fair.
I feel like it is kind of sad, but at the same time, I mean, there are going to be times that we have things in the game and then we love them and then they take their like break or leave and then just like with certain things, they might make their way back. I do strongly believe that it is like we talked about, it is because of his new game that's going to be released. So they're probably working on all the hype for that. It's more so what I think.
I think that's a fair analysis. I feel that uh him leaving is kind of like an ending to a legacy because I think he was the first or one of the first licensed characters that joined into Dead by Daylight. And then now that he's leaving, it's kind of like, oh, okay. He's one of the more frightening characters to go against, especially if they're like a Tombstone Myers, especially after his buff. Yes, I have 2 cats. They are being rowdy today, Flo. They're having times of their lives. Um, so I think that it's going to be interesting just to kind of see if we see more of him or less of him after he leaves. But also seeing like the perks for him and Lori go into like the perk pool as general perks because they're being renamed. And then I know like the map leaving is interesting to me because I get why it's a piece of a license, but why couldn't they, I guess, remake it to look less like Haddonfield or what have you, and it be a different map? But maybe that's some red tape that they just didn't want to deal with, because that's a great map. I feel like both for survivors and for killers.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just more so was confused, I guess, at the fact of they did the rework on him and they made his slaughtering attack. Um, but then, not even, I guess, like a week or two later, then that's when I seen that they were announcing that he's going to be leaving. So I feel like us among, everybody else, is kind of like, why did that have to happen if they did do a change and uh, then take him out of it? Again, you could still play him if you have him. But like you said, it is a part of being in Dead by Daylight. So it does feel like one side of it is leaving and changing as he won't be like fully in it anymore.
Flow Note says
To be lot.
to my cats.
You said what?
He's trying to get the attention of my cats.
Oh.
But I agree with what you're saying, and I think it's really interesting because you can kind of look at it. My cats are being little buttholes today because it's cold outside and the cold weather makes them act crazy. Um, but you can kind of look at this. So like if you kind of go back and you look at like what happened with like Pinhead. So his content was also available to unlock until around April 4th in 2025. And you also had him leave because obviously there's a Hellraiser game coming out. So there's also a new Halloween game coming out, I assume, that they're in the works. I don't know how far developed it is, but you have to look at like, okay, these really iconic horror icons are leaving. Um, and we're still left with like, you've got Bubba and, Freddy, and you still have a few that are kind of like within that same like horror slasher genre that kind of can hold their own. But I feel like these are two
Mhm.
very strong characters that just their license got updated elsewhere. So I'm wondering, and maybe you have an opinion on this too. Do you think maybe in the future they'll come back? And if they do come back, will they get like an update? Will they look different? We can kind of speculate there a little bit because Texas Chainsaw Massacre is its own game and its own license, but Bubba is still in the game for Dead by Daylight. So.
Yeah, that is true. I guess I didn't really think of it kind of in that perspective, but a lot of what you're saying is making sense. Like, I would think if they do come back, they are going to make changes to him and add new effects or something. Maybe it's just, to have the hype come back and then become something different, you know?
Yeah. I can agree to that. So have again, he leaves tomorrow. So if you want to have Michael Myers, make sure that you go ahead and you snatch him up. If you are more survivor sided and you want Laurie Strode, be sure to go ahead and grab her from the store as well. They leave tomorrow. Um,
Yep.
let's jump into another licensed killer that we saw come in 2025. He was released in June. We were talking about Springtrap for the Five Nights at Freddy chapter. I
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I know you were really excited about this chapter too. And I think we played on the PTB with him as well. So how
We
do you
did.
feel about Springtrap being in the game? How do you feel about Matthew Lillard coming in and reprising his role as some of the voice lines? How do you feel about the map we got and the perks?
Okay, so I really, as you said, I'm a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's too. I really enjoyed it. I feel like the map is awesome. I do like the animation when you complete the gens in the pizzeria. I thought that was a cool effect, and then the whole like confetti, all that fun stuff was cool.
Hmm.
And I feel like animatronic is pretty good. It's kind of like Huntress in a way, with being able to throw the axe and embed it in you.
Yeah.
But then he's also able to hit you as well, like just regularly. So he's got like two sides of him, which I thought was pretty interesting. But fun. Like I enjoy playing as him for killer. I do have the toxic skin, which is like the purple looking
Yeah.
skin, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I think when he first got released, everyone was excited because it's a big fan base as well. And I think that the voice lines are great. I feel like the Mori is great as well. And I was super excited, and I feel like he is another popular one that everyone was playing as him too when he first got released. So we had a lot of Springtrap matches.
OG Demon says the map is just a rework of the theater map.
Yeah,
That is true.
it's
That is
true.
true.
But it just they made it look like even though that it is kind of, the same, it's just they still added, different things to make it look pretty, I
Yeah.
guess I would say.
Okay. Fair enough. Um. So, do you have an opinion for this question that I have marked down for us? Does
Hmm.
Five Nights at Freddy prove that Dead by Daylight is still culturally loud? So do you feel that Five Nights at Freddy kind of helps to make, or any of the killers that we've seen in terms of like, the Cenobite, Michael Myers, Vecna and Stranger Things coming in, do you feel that it is helping Dead by Daylight to be more accepted to either gamers who have been in the space since the game launched, or new gamers who are coming in and just discovering Dead by Daylight, or people who took a break and were on hiatus and then came back?
I feel like it's the last one. I think kind of like just bringing a new like hype to the game.
Okay. I agree. I feel like a lot of people jumped in when Springtrap was released, and they enjoyed the game for a while. And then I know later in the year when we had the winter event and then the Halloween event, not Michael Myers related, just around the you know holiday of Halloween, um, there's like an uptick in players in Dead by Daylight around that time because a lot of people come in for the events. And I think that's kind of interesting to watch. I know that we also had our last masquerade for Dead by Daylight in 2025, so that was also interesting as well. Flo says
That's
we
so
need
good.
Leprechaun.
A leprechaun.
That could be an interesting one, like an
It could.
interesting killer. I've seen a lot of people on Reddit try to make maps because they're like, "Oh, we should have Jaws as a killer, like the shark from Jaws." And I'm like,
Hmm.
that's an interesting take, and like I'm all for it. So so you have people making models of like flooded maps and whatnot, and I'm just like, it's probably never gonna happen, but it is interesting, you know,
It is
fan
interesting, yeah.
take. All right,
That's
so
true.
let's talk a little bit about gonna be like Jeff. Ah, not Jeff. Jeff Lynshort.
Jeff.
So let's talk about the health of Dead by Daylight and kind of how we feel about that. So you kind of have people on one end of the spectrum who say that Dead by Daylight is dead. Dead by Daylight is in trouble. It's going downhill. It hasn't been good since XYZ. And then you have some people who are like, oh, it's stagnated. It's fine. It's been around for 10 years already, and all this good stuff. Um,
Hmm.
do you feel that it's in a healthy state where it will continue to stay stagnated for a while? Do you feel there will be more growth because of Stranger Things Chapter 2 coming out? How do you feel about the state of the game as it currently is?
For me, like, as a Dead by Daylight player, like you said, we play like almost every day. I mean, to me, in my opinion, I feel like it's for me growing still. I mean, like they keep adding new things, like whether a lot like or are unhappy, it is still growing. It is still they're adding new things, and it will continue, to build off that. And I feel like I don't feel like it's per se dead. I just feel like there could be times and breaks. Like for instance, they delayed the like mapping out where we were going to get a new chapter, and then they're going to release the Stranger Things, here soon in whichever. But like I feel like they pushed things back because a lot were saying they weren't focusing on the changes and on certain game bugs and all that, that they needed to address first. So a lot of people were saying that that needed to be the primary concern. So for me, I would say it's just like it's still running steady to me in my opinion. But I do feel a lot have uh, been not happy, I guess. Like a lot of people are still unsatisfied um, of what it's becoming or like what the changes have been. But I
Right.
wouldn't say it like to me is dead. I feel like it could just hit spots like where it just is kind of like slowly floating, like until they bring like how we were saying, like kind of more hype and more changes and more things, and then more people get brought in to play the game,
Yeah.
if that
Exactly.
makes sense.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. OG Demon says, I feel like they need more maps.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I was
Uh,
saying that earlier that having more maps would be very good for us.
to your point, OG Demon, they are releasing a new map in 2026 of this year in March. So right around the corner, basically, because January is almost already over.
Yeah.
Just get
Yeah.
tired of. I agree. The map rotation
Yeah.
is interesting.
Slow. I feel like
Yeah, you're right. Slow.
sorry. Go ahead, Ann.
No, no, you're good.
Yeah,
I,
go
I
ahead.
feel like you and I get the same map over and over, and then we'll get that one random one that we never really go to, one of the swamp ones, I feel like it is. And
Yep.
it's just like, oh, well, we haven't been here since like, 3 weeks ago. So the map rotation is interesting, and I understand that it has to do a little bit with the fact that each map, except for maybe one or two, have like A, B, C, D, E versions of them, depending on how big the map is that spawns in. So it's just
Mhm.
interesting to kind of see like how many times we get like, Dead Dog Saloon or what's another good one? I was going to say Haddonfield, but we won't be getting that one anymore, so it won't really matter. But the map rotation is interesting, barring someone bringing like an offering to make you go to said map. So
Right.
we need original
Yeah, I feel
maps and
like
not like copy and paste maps, is what Flo says.
mhm.
Fair, absolutely fair. Should bring back the original RPD. I never got to play whatever the original version was, OG, before I guess they fixed it or patched it or whatever they did. Um, I have a lot of friends who have played Dead by Daylight with me that don't like that map, but
Oh, yeah.
I really love that map. I love that map
Yeah.
and the Silent Hill School map. I really love those two. They're two of my favorites. Um, but that's just me. Which neither did I, which is why they need to make it come back. Okay. I thought you had played it. I thought that was your point. You're like, I played it and I loved it. But still a fair point all around. Um or at
Or
least
at
put it
least
into
put it to be yeah.
Is the RPD map in 2v8? It is, isn't it?
I mean, it should be.
I feel like we've played on it quite a bit, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it is.
Okay. But yeah, maps would be a good point to kind of figure out because again, I know there's like 5 to 6 renditions of each map going from smallest to like medium sized to large and to the largest extension, which the largest extension is obviously reserved for 2v8 if it's applicable and in 2v8 already. But the original one with the
Mhm.
third floor, oh, that would be cool. That would be so cool if they had the third level of RPD, but
Yes.
alas, they do not. So, let's move on to another talking point, which has kind of been a topic of hot debate within the Dead by Daylight community. And I know you and I have touched on this a little bit last stream when you and I
Mhm.
were questioned by one of your chatters about what we feel about tunneling. So, what is tunneling to you?
To me? Oh, I feel like to me, tunneling would be like sticking, yeah, to one. survivor, but like pretty much the whole entire map and not trying to get anybody else like at all. Like
Okay.
just sticking with one person the full thing. Um, I had a situation which obviously I told you about recently where like, a lot of people bring the attention of like what they feel is tunneling, which again, everyone has their own like perception on what that is. But at the end of the day, I think we can all agree that when you're playing Survivor, you're doing your best to survive. When you're playing as killer, you're doing your best to go for the kill, which means that whoever is in your view, you're not just going to just walk past them. Like, if they're there, you're there to be a killer. So I just feel like some people take this game like way too seriously. You're there to play the game, and when you're as killer or survivor, you're committed to playing the game. So I feel like just a lot of people take it way too far than it
Yeah.
needs to be.
I think that's a
What's your
fair
opinion on
answer.
it? What's your answer for tunneling? Like what do you feel when you're playing?
Um, I agree with your answer. I feel that it is a killer who goes after one person consistently, either because um they feel that they're an easy target, or because they're just like, well, if I can at least get one person down and then go and tunnel the next person out and then go and do that to the same person, they feel like they've got an easy win. Um,
Mhm.
it could also just be from toxic behavior, depending on, the person playing and how they're, are they having a good day? Are they having a bad day? What have you. Usually what I do when I'm playing killer is I will try to get everyone on first hook before I go and put a person on second hook. And then I just kind of give everyone a fighting chance, because when I play killer, yeah, I'm still trying to, have fun, but I'm also trying to like, do my job as the killer, but I'm not trying to be so hard on it where I'm like, okay, well, you guys, it's 5 gens and I'm just going to rush you guys down and that's going to be the end of the game, because I feel like that's not fun for
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah. No, I don't have
So,
fun at all.
so OG Demon
Can we
says,
talk about Okay, uh-huh.
oh, sorry. Let me read the
No, you're fine.
comment. OG Demon says, to me, as a killer main, it's after somebody's hooked, you don't try to go after anybody else and you proceed to go right back after the same person who was hooked. I agree with that, OG Demon. So good point there. Pink, what were you going
Uh, I believe I was just gonna say that hold on. I might need a minute to
to
figure
You're
out
good.
what I'm trying to explain.
You're good.
Um,
Um, If you need a minute to think about it, I can just go ahead
yeah, I'll think about it.
and go into camping. So obviously, after you've hooked somebody or you've been hooked, and the killer just kind of stands near you and just kind of watches you, waits for someone to come and save you. But you have a little bar now that kind of fills up, and if they're close enough, it continues to fill up, and once it gets to the max, you can unhook yourself. Some killers also do this. Some of them back away just enough to where your bar stops filling up, but they're still kind of around the corner just waiting so that they can get the next person who's trying to save you. Um, and I know that they've kind of put some precautions in place in terms of when you get off the hook, if the killer is right there and they go to swing at you again, you get kind of like a free uh dead hard, and you get like a pass in terms of
Mhm.
speed.
Like a
So
protection. Mhm.
I think those are good ideas to have implemented, but there are probably some better ways to make that go even further, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Sometimes I will hook somebody twice in a row, but that is if I don't find another person. I've been
Yeah.
there and I've done that as well, because sometimes survivors are really good at hiding from you. Sometimes the map is against you depending on what killer you are. There are many different factors. Sometimes you
Mhm.
come against like a full squad of friends and they're all in like a VC and you're just playing by yourself, and they're like, "Oh, the killer's here." So they have map awareness over you, because that might be a situation. So I can understand that perspective as well. OG.
Yeah. I can too.
Do you remember your thought, Pink?
I'm trying really hard. It was like a good one based off like what we were saying, but more so um hmm, I think just like that. Oh, the botting stuff. Like I was gonna cover
Okay, yeah.
with like for the bot, like just leaving and abandoning your teammates, I feel like is wrong. I mean, even if like you were to get like if we're all slugged, then okay, you can abandon and you'll lose like some of your points. But I just feel like people do it for no like real reason other than they're like raged and just like pissed off that they lost, and I get that everyone wants, their win, whether you're survivor or killer, but I just feel like it's wrong when people are like counting on you and you're there, you got into the match and everybody's like going to play and then you just hide in lockers, you don't heal people or whichever, you just don't play fairly and then you give up, you become a bot, and then now it's the bot and the rest of the teammates, which just isn't fair. If you can't go against anybody and you're just like upset, then to me it's just like, well, that's part of playing the game, Like you're not going to get your favorite ones, you're not going to win all the time. It it's part of the game.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I don't understand why people bot. However, I will tunnel out a bot. I think that's acceptable, OG. I do think that's acceptable because sometimes
It is,
you're
yeah.
left with a bot if everyone else like gets out or whatever, or you've killed them, and they know exactly where the hatch is, so it's just like
Oh, they
you
do.
got to
Yes.
get them out
I was
first.
so mad. I was so mad, and a bot was a bill and they gave up and I was Death Slinger and I was trying to get my adept and the freaking bot found hatch like right in front of me.
That's
Right in front of us. And I'm like,
crazy.
"No."
That's crazy.
Yep. So it's true. But yeah, I don't know.
Um,
I just feel like everyone needs to be like considerate of everyone playing the game. Like if you start in a match, be in that match and be a good player. Don't just give up and just leave your teammates, high and dry.
yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Or I will give the survivors a win if somebody decent early. I think that that's fair as well, OG.
Yeah.
Piggybacking off of what you said, Pink. So like you and I have had a couple of matches here lately where people will bot. So like last night when we were playing against the Nemesis, and I think you had just died. It was me and Ada, and they got Ada. They picked her up, and she immediately botted, and so it was just me left. Hooks her. She, dies on hook because it was her death hook, and then I stayed in her shack and I was able to find the hatch. But I don't understand, like, in my mind, I'm like, well, I want all of my points and I want all of my rep that goes to my account and all that stuff. I want my blood points, all that stuff. So why would you just? I don't want to take the
Yeah, give
penalty,
up.
right?
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
So I don't get it, but I mean, to each their own, I suppose. I sacrifice
Yeah, I
myself for
mean,
my
it just
teammates
feels
sometimes. I'll take the tunnel to make sure they get out, is what OG Demon says. So yeah, I understand that
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I mean, like you see me, and I mean, even if okay, one thing I do that I feel like many like you and you play very like strategically, like cautious, like which is good. Like, you look out if the killer's in the radius, like you make sure like you check your surroundings. I feel like I do till I don't. I feel like I risk the shot to go, get my teammates to heal, to do whatever I need to do. And if that means that I'm taken, well then I'll take one for the team. If it happens to be that, I'm not gonna leave you to be on second hook or to be dead. I'd rather go and use that risk to go give you an opportunity. That's how I play. But obviously, everyone plays different. Everyone wants to, try to stay alive as much as they can and, try to make it out, which is fair too. But I'm just saying, like, all of it is your perspective on how you want to play and how you want to, be a good team player or not. And a lot of people choose to be more like about themselves instead of like, again, this is a co-op like teaming game. This isn't just like even people that play in solo queue just think like it's just about them and then they can do whatever, find hatch, do whatever and leave everyone else to be sacrificed.
Yeah.
But this the teaming game for a reason. Hey yo, Chips.
Yeah, I completely agree. I know you mentioned last night when we were playing, you had mentioned that I was one of the few people that would play with you because most of the time you're playing with randoms and you're just like, you always just come and save me. It's like everyone else just leaves me
Yes.
there. And
It's true
um
though. They don't wanna take the risk, and what drives me more crazy about that, just to add to what you're saying before I lose it, is, like, they didn't even get hit once. Like, they didn't even, like, try to do anything, and it's just like, "Come on, you can't just help." You can't just go do something to help me, but they don't wanna be seen, they're scared of the killer, they wanna hide, like I said, they don't wanna do gens. They don't wanna do anything, just try to stay alive, which, again, of course, everyone wants to be alive and leave, but that's not
Yeah.
always how. Um, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
Just gonna.
Okay.
I was checking a setting on my side. So you may see me disappear from your side for a second. I'll be back.
Yeah, it was for a
Um,
minute, yeah.
Anywho, so yeah, all those are very, very good points, and I think that they're trying their best to come up with ways to implement a system where it's not like I see the argument all the time of Dead by Daylight is killer sided or Dead by Daylight is survivor
Mhm.
sided, and I'm like, it really depends on, for me, the match you're in, who you're playing against, your perks, your teammates' perks. Um, and is the person playing killer, are they new to that killer? Are they a veteran of that killer? Like, are you new to the survivor and the perks you have? So for me, it's like, it depends on a lot of different factors. I think the game
Right, it does.
isn't perfectly balanced because no game is perfectly balanced anywhere. So you just have to kind of take things with a grain of salt, really.
Mhm.
So OG Demon says, just a side note, I might be one very happy demon later. I personally like my 4 perks that I use all the time, but I also play extremely nice. So very, very cool.
So who's your, favorite survivor to play as, Anne?
My favorite survivor to play as is Rebecca.
Why?
Um, I am a longtime fan of Resident Evil, and I first played um, Resident Evil Director's Cut on the PS1, and she's just, super. I like her character. She's very altruistic. She's just sweet. She's, just a cool like character. I just really, really like her. Um, and she's just who I just decided to play. Like she kind of blends in a lot as well when her default outfit. She blends in with a lot of the
Mhm.
maps, so you can kind of like
Yeah, she's
skirt
not
around
bright, yeah.
killers. OG Demon says she's so loud, but the loudest survivor in game is Jill Valentine.
Yeah, that is true.
um, Plus I'm hardly ever caught. Just kidding. But I just love playing her. She's just a cute character to play as. Sometimes I will switch off and play other characters. Like I did have a spat there where I did play Daryl Dixon for the longest time after the Walking Dead
Yep.
chapter came out. But
Mhm.
I haven't really changed back to him. And here, like last night, I played Leon for a bit. But I always just kind of go back to playing as Rebecca. Um, Flo says, "Got to be Steve for the ah ah." I
Steve,
I have not
he
played as
does not
Arella
like
or Shiva. OG.
Demon does not like Steve at all. He does not like his
But
noise, nothing.
why? We love a single
He
mother.
just doesn't. He's like, "Please, no Steve," because I was trying to join his lobbies as Steve. He wouldn't
Oh.
let me.
So who's your favorite, Pink? Your favorite survivor? I've seen you play a few different ones, so
Honestly, it's hard because as you said, I do have a couple different ones, but I wanna say my first P100 soon will be Laura Croft.
awesome.
She is my favorite, so I made her my first, but apart from her, I would say Kate, and, again, Steve and Nancy. Those, like, 4, and then I guess Michaela, she's, like, my 5th, but I just rotate, but more so, like I said, Laura, she's, the highest, so she's my favorite.
Nice. Very, very. OG says, so okay, so there's a reason why I don't like him. One of the reasons is because when somebody was streaming and he was trying to play nice and he was talking to chat, Steve kept standing next to him screaming where we couldn't hear him talk. Okay,
That's
fair
funny.
enough. Fair enough, I suppose. Um, so segueing into who would your favorite killer be? Again, Pink, I've seen you play a few different ones, so who's your favorite?
Me?
Yes.
Um, yeah, I was saying Laura Croft.
For a killer though, who's your favorite killer?
Oh, for killer? Um,
Do not say Chucky, OG says.
I'm dead. No, but it's not that I love Chucky, but it's fun to play as him. Like a lot of people don't like the third person view of playing him, but I kind of do. I think it's kind of funny. It's kind of like I don't know, it's a different view as killer. It makes it kind of fun.
Absolutely fair.
I just like it. But favorite killer would be Ghostface. Am I good at it? No, still practicing, but I feel like I love I love playing as Ghostface just because he's Ghostface. I'm a fan of Ghostface as well, so I feel like for that I love playing as him.
I was gonna guess Ghostface, but
Yeah,
I wasn't sure because again, I've seen you play a few different ones, a few
yeah,
different
different one.
characters. So you know, I think that's why we get along so well because you love watching me play him. That's what OG says.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
My favorite
Yeah.
killer is sorry to cut you off, Pink.
No, you're good.
My favorite killer is, of course, the Executioner or Pyramid Head or Red Pyramid.
Yep.
If you want to get real technical about what his actual name is. Um, I'd started actually playing as Trickster, and then I was like, I can't really get his ranged attacks down all that well, but I just do still like playing as him. But I went on a spiel where I played as Pyramid Head for a while, and I do really well on him as a killer, and then I switched to Trickster, and Trickster is so much shorter than Pyramid Head. Like the camera scales down in the lobby, and I was just like, there's a clip of me saying, "Oh my God, you are a short king," and I'm playing in custom with friends, and my friend Steven's like, "What? What do you mean by
Oh
that?"
my gosh.
I'm just like, "Don't worry about it, Steven. Don't worry about it." Um, but I have been playing the pig a lot here within the last few months, and I really, really
Yeah, I was
love.
gonna say you've been doing good with Pig.
I
Like
love
anytime
her.
we do the customs, you've done well.
I love her so much. She's just so much fun. Because she can be sneaky. She can get you right at the last minute. Um, and again, going back to my friend Steven, that's one of his favorite killers. He started to play her. And then I just kind of picked her up at random. I was like, let me give her a try, see if I'm any good at it. And I find her to be very, very fun. So
Mm-hmm.
OG says I have a friend who calls him Pyramid Daddy.
Pyramid Daddy.
I call him Daddy unironically, but you know, people are into what they're into. But I think that he's a very good killer, depending on perks you have on him. And then if I had to fill like another slot, I would put Nemi in slot 3, so Nemesis,
Yeah,
because
I know you.
he's
Yeah.
just like, oh, you get zombies and people can tell you where you are, and
Oh yeah. So on this topic, Anne, do you like that they made the new change to add more zombies? Because that match we played last night,
that
uh,
was
that
crazy.
definitely got me cornered with two zombies in the same like area.
Let's answer Flo's question real quick. Wait, are you guys playing and chatting or just chatting, watching a gameplay? So we have, I have a video
I have
playing,
mine,
and she has a video
but
playing.
mine's
So,
mine's like stuck. I can't keep it all together. But Anne's is going.
so yeah, we just wanted to have something moving in the background for people to kind of hang out and watch and check on while we're talking. And the next time we do a panel, we'll have all this fixed so everybody looks crystal clear
Yeah,
and videos are
everything will
playing.
be
Um,
different.
But yeah, I think the change for Nemesis is kind of interesting because is it 3 zombies now or that he can
I
have?
think it's I think it's three, right? Or was it four?
Because when we played in 2v8, there were 4. So
Yeah, I think
did they
there
just
might
up
be
it for
four.
2v8? Because if so, that's excessive. He does not need 4 zombies. Um, but it was fun when I
Yeah, okay, then
played.
2v8, he'll have four.
Yeah, he's gonna have 4. Yeah, that's a lot. That's gonna help him out a lot with map awareness because obviously you know that if you see a zombie with outstretched arms running towards somebody, you know, you know where the person is pretty much. So I think that it's gonna work out in favor. We're probably gonna see him played a lot. Um,
Oh yeah, for sure. Ever
So
since the changes have happened and everything, I've seen a lot more of Nemesis games.
I like Nemesis though. He's a good killer. Easy to learn, and you can kind of figure out what you want to do with them depending on how you play.
Mhm.
Two of them have 30% more haste if it sticks. Oh, did not know that, but cool. Okay. All right, so let's move on into our next topic, which is the solo queue experience.
Okay.
So do you prefer kind of
Well,
playing solo for the most part, or do you prefer to have more of a kind of a full party? I know when we play on Tuesday nights with the rest of the Fogbound crew, we are a four-man team and we are good to go, and we kind of can read each other's thoughts and we're all playing. But sometimes it is just you and me playing, or sometimes it is just you playing by yourself. How do you feel about that experience, and how does it differ from one to the other?
I feel like when I'm by myself, like I said, it's not as enjoyable, to be honest. I just do it to get as much blood points, to just still play the game. But it's not as enjoyable. Whereas, if I message you or if I say we'll play, I know that there's an actual like team, um, like between both of us. And even if other people do whatever, I know that like I could count on you and you can count on me, type thing. And we just go in there and we do our best and we have fun at the same time. And you hear my crazy talks and wording and laugh.
Oh yeah.
So, whatever comes to mind, we just say, which is always fun, and we're just having a good time. So, I feel like I enjoy that a lot. And then, like Demon said, when I'm playing with, him or somebody else, it's more enjoyable to me. So, I would say, like, playing with everybody else rather than solo queue is always what I'm looking for, seeing if anyone's on to play with.
Okay, I think that's a fair answer. I
Yeah.
feel the same. I enjoy playing either in solo queue or with a group of people. It really just depends again on who's available to play. When I first got into Dead by Daylight, my friends and I, we really enjoyed. We jumped into just playing like a few games online, open lobbies, and then we would just kind of stick to custom games so that we could all have a chance as killer. We'd do like a rotating system, and that was a lot of fun, and still is a lot of fun. We still kind of do that sometimes. Um, so
Mhm.
it's fun to experience on both sides. There have been games where I'm just in there by myself and they've gone great, and then there have been games where I'm in there by myself and there's like a player who's just leading the killer to you every chance they get, and then you have people
Yeah.
who will bot, you have people who go AFK, not meaning to or meaning to, and so it's just an interesting experience all around. Um,
Hmm.
so that's kind of interesting to see, depending on you know if you're by yourself or playing with somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
OG says you have
Yeah,
flashlights.
flashlight
Yep.
saved me
Go ahead, read it.
so many times. It's like I wish we could have clipped all of them. I can't. You can't what? Do
Can't
a
do a
flashlight?
flashlight save.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a acquired skill that like you do have to practice over and over. On controller, it is much harder. But when I do try to do it on keyboard, like I've been trying to make myself practice here and there, with keyboard, it is definitely way easier. So on controller, I have to be like at a further distance. But I will say recently, and in the gameplays for me to do like in our streaming gameplays I'm saying for me to do the saves, a lot of killers have been like more aware of who brings the flashlights. So if I'm being honest, lately it's been more of a challenge because if they know you have the flashlight, they're looking corners and looking around when they down somebody, which again, like for anybody that has to be in the right distance, looking the right direction at the right time.
Yeah.
If you don't have any of those and you get caught and they see you first, then you're both downed. And then that's usually when you're like, Pink, what happened?
Yeah, I
And I'm
agree.
like, well, I took a risk.
I am so traumatized when I play as Pig because I've been flashbanged so many times. I'm like, I don't want to go
Mhm.
kick this gym, but I don't want it to. So I'll literally like brace to be flashbanged while I'm playing as Pig. Um, so it really just depends. I think
It
my first
does, yeah.
flashlight save was I saved you. I don't
Yep.
know if we were playing and streaming or not, but I
Mhm.
was very proud of that moment because I've never really done it. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
want to have that pressure on my shoulders. But it's a lot of fun to just try out new
It is.
stuff and whatnot. So
Yeah,
good
no, you
good
did
stuff.
great. And I remember that trickster run where I saved you too, and I'm like, "Run, Ann,
Mhm.
run!" Afterwards.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
I love, like, the, adrenaline rush of doing it and then trying to, get away. It's always fun.
It is. So let's talk about some perks for a bit and get some opinions on what we think is a perk that you believe is overrated.
Hmm.
OG says, "What's your take on survivors being mean to nice killers with flashlights?" OG, I hate it so much because there are times when I'm playing as Pig or as Nimmy, and like I'll hook everybody at least once, and then I'll kind of chase them for a bit. I'll let them do gens, and then I'll open a gate for them, and then I'm gonna let them leave. And there's always that one that's just gonna sit there and flashlight me at the exit, and I'm like, I'm letting you go. And there'll be like one other survivor that'll be there, like shaking their head no, like, hey, leave the killer alone. They're letting us go. Like it's annoying, like especially if you're being nice, like your question states, like why does what that doesn't give you the right to be a butthole, in my opinion. So,
Yeah, no, I agree. I've had it happen to me where more than one person has their flashlight and it's just a continuous blind, 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 and I'm trying to move, like get out of there, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, just leave. Like, so I like swipe or like get mad like with my, item, and I'm just like trying to hit and then they finally leave. But I just don't get people just standing there. It annoys me more when people don't just leave. Like because I'm like you already won. You want me to go running after you at the gate when there's like a 1 second where you're going to leave anyways. So like just leave.
Flo says I will
It-
definitely tunnel them, and then OG says I have had people do that to me the entire game, and then L Chips comes in with the Michael Jackson eating popcorn emote.
I have tips.
Very nice,
Welcome
very
back.
nice. Yeah, I agree. I think it just some people are just they can't take a win graciously if you're being a nice killer. And then some people, even if you are playing like not competitively, but like it's kind of on par, like you've been doing good as killer and they've been doing good as survivor, and it comes down to the wire. And
Nice. Love it.
you might have some people who just can't graciously, even if you're at the exit gates, they've opened them and you just made it over there because you're just like gonna be like, okay, I get it, they've already won. And then they just stand there and they like teabag you and they like flash you with the flashlight, and it's like, you're literally 2 inches away from the exit. Just walk through, please. OG
Oh my
says,
gosh.
I just don't understand that when you have 2 or 3 survivors who are being cool, they'll just let you hook them twice because they're being nice, and then there's always the one who has to. Yes, I agree. There's always the one. Always that one.
Mhm.
I think the other night,
Yep.
Ink and I actually had a nice killer. It was a ghost face, and they just wanted people to like stun them with pallets.
Yep, that's
And
it.
and then they
While the
hooked
rest
everybody
get the
once,
gems.
and then I think
Mhm.
I think we all got out. I might be remembering the ending wrong, but they were
No,
just
we're
kind
good.
of farming some points and just having fun. So,
Yep, they were. They just you do what you have to do to get it.
otaku voices, and that's why I like Death Slinger. So you can reel them in,
Yeah, it
pun
is kind of
intended.
fun. At first, I thought it was, like, challenging when I told you about him, man, but to be honest, shooting the shots and then reeling them in is kinda fun.
Yeah.
So, I've enjoyed it too recently. Um,
How
how
many
many lobbies
lives
did
was
I
that you,
dodge
OG,
until
when we
I
played
found a
against a ghost
streamer?
face? There's no way that was you, was it?
How many levels did I dodge to life? A streamer who would drop pallets for me.
I don't know. It happened to us the other night. I didn't pay attention to
All
the
right, Anne, I have
killer.
one to talk about is
What's up?
do you feel like survivors should be able to sabo the hook like more than once? Like just do it every time you picked up a survivor. And that you couldn't even get like one hook state because either everyone had it or they had their toolbox or whatever. Like, do you feel like there should be a limit on the sabo?
You mean on different hooks or on the same hook? Because isn't once you sabo hook, it's just down for a disclosed amount of time until it respawns, right?
Yeah, I guess so, but I'm saying like more so like, do you think it is like that it should be like you can only do it once or like because they have the sabotage, hook for Jake, the perk where like you can do it without needing a toolbox, is what I'm saying.
Okay. See, I didn't even know that there was a perk like that because
Yeah.
I don't really run Sabo builds all that much. I will run like a Gen Rush build or I'll run like a very fast healing build, but I don't really do like a sabotage build. OG
Yeah,
says
so
so
like Demon Fist.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if you sabotage one hook and then sabotage another hook, the other hook will come back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's what I was under the impression happened anyway, so I'm not really I don't think if it is in game, I don't think you should be able to just sabotage a hook, then go to the other one, sabotage it, then go to the other, and they all are just
Yeah.
down for an
Mm-hmm.
indeterminate amount of time. I was under the impression that once you saboed one kind of respawned to prevent that, but it's only if the same survivor does it twice in a row. Okay, got you. Um, but no, I don't think it should be a thing. I think there should be like a cooldown or something to kind of mitigate that. But I mean, again, I don't really run Sabo builds, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just saying, like, have you ever had a gameplay where, like I said, they're all running, like, say that perk, and there's no cooldown. So each time you go to a different hook, they're gonna sabo it. So then I kept trying to do at least like putting one person on the hook, and they gave me no like ways to do that because they all work together as a team to compromise, you know, to do that.
then there should probably be something in place, I guess, to prevent that. But I don't know how you would go about that unless there's a either an in-game. You could do it as a perk, I guess, but then that would just take up a perk slot for a killer to like mitigate, like, hey,
Hmm.
protect the hook or whatever. It could also just be an in-game thing, kind of like how they do with the protection hit for tunneling. It could just be like a, hey, we're noticing that hooks are being saboed left and right, so this one is protected for XYZ amount of time as the match goes on or whatever. You could do it that
Right.
way, but I don't think it should be. I've never run into it. I mean, I have run into like one or two players who have had like a toolbox and they sabo the hook that I was about to carry somebody to, but there'd be another one right there and I could just, go handle it. But I don't think you should be able to do it back to back to back as fast as it seems like you're
Yeah.
explaining it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, no, it was because that was my first match like I've ever witnessed that it could happen that way. Like that's why I was like kind of taken by it because I don't really run those builds either, but it was just the fact of like everyone had kind of like the same kind of perks or like I said, or ones that didn't had the toolbox so then they can do it as well. And they all basically grouped up to do the same action. So then there was no possible way, because even one I would try to go to, then the other survivor. Like they all worked together in that sense to kind of trick me, in that sense of like, okay, well, if you don't go to this one, I'm going to go to this one. And then just kept taking the hooks off, hooks off, hooks off.
Gotcha.
So it
Yeah.
was more like that. That was my first time I witnessed like anything crazy like that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I think that there should be some sort of mitigation, like something in place for if and when that happens. But I don't know how
Hmm.
I don't know how they would implement that. I mean, they could do a perk, they could do it as like they have the protection hit stuff. It just really depends on how they look at it and how they want to work on getting that under control.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about perks for a little bit in terms of what we think is overrated. What was your answer, Pink?
Overrated.
Yeah, what's a perk that you think is overrated?
You go first because I kind of have to think.
Okay, so a survivor perk that I think is overrated. It's one of Laura's perks that gives you that fast vault.
Oh, finesse.
Yeah, when you're
Mm-hmm.
healthy. And
Mm-hmm.
not so much in the term that this doesn't mean that I dislike the perk. I like the perk. It's just you see it a lot, like because it is very very good. But I think it's overrated because you can, if you're not capitalizing on it with other perks, then it's kind of like just taking up a slot. But again, if you're new to the game, you're probably not going to know how to prioritize um, perks and get them to work synergy with each other. Um,
True.
so that would be mine for Survivor, and then for a killer perk, I know a lot of people, a lot of people don't like or didn't like because I know they've changed it. Weave of Attunement, which is one
Yeah.
of Vecna's perks. I know a lot of survivors are like, "Oh my god, you run that! Oh my god, we're gonna throw you on the stake on the fire and burn you alive!" Um, so I would say those two, even though I do like both of them. So that's kind of a controversial take for me, I think.
Yeah. No, I get it. I agree with the first one. I do have Laura Croft, so I have her perks. And I will say that is part of my build actually.
And again, there's nothing wrong with that.
Um, yeah, I feel like it just it is used a lot as well as Fang's perk. What is it? Leith, however you
Yeah,
say it.
Beef Life. I
I
think
feel
you can
like
say it either
those
way.
yeah. Yeah, so I feel like those two perks I always see in almost 80% of survivors perks whenever it's end game, like just looking over everybody's. And I feel like it's just it gives you like the chance to vote and be as quick as you can to go back and forth without the killer being able to get you as quickly
Yeah.
with the speed. So like it is a good perk, and I do feel like I can agree with you on it being um, overused. I
OG,
feel like the most run perk is resilience. Yeah, that one as well.
OG also
Um,
says, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like empathy is kind of a waste of a perk spot when you could run botany knowledge, which gives you the same thing and a healing boost. I can agree with that take.
mhm.
I run botany knowledge
um,
on my healing, my speed
yeah,
healing.
your healing is super fast. Yeah.
It's like, Pink, come here, let me heal you. Takes like 2 seconds.
Yes, it is fast and works very good for when we're needing to be quick. Um, Killer wise, I don't really think I really have one in just because I don't really play as killer much. Um,
It's
I
fair.
don't really know like of one that I could say.
That is absolutely fair. That. There are a lot of good perks out there depending on like the build you're trying to run because obviously you could run like a again you could run a Gen Rush build, you could run a speed healing build, you
I
could
guess I
you know
guess I could say one, sorry
they're
to
good.
say, but to add to that I would say No Way Out is one I see a lot when we play as
Oh yeah,
Survivor.
that is another good one.
So
Yep.
that one I feel like is overused a lot because a lot of killers use that as in their build.
I think that's fair. Absolutely. So all right, let's see. What do we want to talk about next? Our next topic of discussion is how live matches are structured. So what I mean by that is, so for certain match themes, you kind of have like, can you do like an anti-tunnel toolkit as a survivor, meaning your goal is to play around tunneling and camping by positioning, pre-running, being very disciplined in your map awareness, or could you do a fair but firm killer game so you demonstrate pressure without hard tunneling at 5 gens, right? Um, we are kind of going through this right now with perk roulette. So the chaos shuffle is live right now, so you get just 4 random
Yep.
perks and you figure it out as you go. I like this game mode because it's helping me kind of learn some perks that I would probably never go and explore myself.
Yep.
And then you kind of have like a our fourth little discussion subtopic here is map debate. Uh, do certain maps we get feel too big, too safe, or too dead zoney? So like, actually, Pink, you and I kind of ran into this in a match last night where all the gens were on one side -2, and every time we tried to go back and get the last 2 gens, we were being pressured to run away because the
Yep.
killer was putting so much pressure on us. Um,
Yep. That's true.
OG says, I feel like they need to make generators easier to find because sometimes I can't find one to save my life, and I feel like some of them are way too small. I think
Yeah.
that's in reference to the map debate. So
Mhm.
give us your thoughts, Pink, and if you want, I can read off the topic again and what I mean by that, if you need me to.
Yeah, I feel like you have a lot of good a lot of good structured topics, but I feel like yeah, this one kind of confuses me just a little because like I get what you're saying, but like trying to think of how to answer it like in the thoughts like as far as maps, I feel like um some are dead zone, I guess is what you were asking. Like if it like some are dead zone. I feel like in some I don't know, it's different each match. It's hard to like explain. Like some maps have it where there's too many pallets like in one area, and then there's times I go into the maps and there's not enough. So I don't know if it changes each map or gameplay we go into that it has a different like palette density or something, which I know they did do a whole update on that, they said.
Okay, I think
So
that's fair. So let's start with, do you have a favorite map that once you load in and you see it's that map, you're like, okay, I have an advantage because I know this map. Regardless of if we get like rendition A, B, C, or D, you're just like, okay, I know this map. I can do okay.
mm, probably the RPD.
Okay.
Mostly because I kind of like already got a like clear grasp like on where everything is, and it is to me like it's not a huge map. So like it makes it a little bit easier to like know where everything is and where the palettes and the gens normally are. Yeah, some switch like cuz you get like a different version of the map rolled out or whatever, but like for the most part it's still the same map. And like I said, it's a shorter feel of the map, so it feels at a better advantage to me, but I know a lot of people dislike it. But
Okay.
to me, I feel it's good.
Okay. I can agree with that.
Hey,
Um,
Expectic. Hey, Bendleton. How are you?
got some lurkers coming into the chat. Welcome in, guys. So then let's go to subtopic 3 where we're talking about perk roulette. So right now we're going through Chaos Shuffle. How do you feel about that?
I enjoy it currently. As to what you said earlier, it's like it gives you a chance to see different perks that you may not already have. Maybe you don't have the survivor, or when you're playing killer, you don't have that killer. So then all the perks get shuffled, and then you get what you get basically, and then you get to see how that helps your gameplay. Which again, every match that you play goes to what you bring, which I noticed, other than having like a flashlight or medkit or whichever, you don't get your add-ons, which is different. Because I feel like too, you don't get to see like what's equipped with your tool. So
Yeah.
it's just like it's kind of like, everything is a see what you get type feel. And I do feel like that does help test your abilities for each game. And like in some we did escape yesterday and in some we did not.
Yeah.
So it's like, everything goes against it, but it's also the killer. It's also the map. It's also, like you said, the pressure that's being built upon everybody and working together. So each match is based off of all those things and the skill of everybody.
I agree with that. I really enjoy the game mode so far. Um, I know there's been a few times where it's given me some perks where I'm like, these don't work together, but I know what at least one of them does. So okay.
Yes.
Um, I know the other night when we were playing with the Fogbound crew and we had a Myers, we were on Deadwood, and I know Otaku had to go find the basement, and he was just like, "This
Yep.
perk's kind of useless here, but it's been
He's
done."
always in the basement.
He's like, I can't be healed," and so it's just kind of cool to see what it gives you and how it plays out in terms of you trying to you load in and you don't even get a second to look at your perks. You're just kind of like, okay, I have this, this, and this, and this, and then you're just trying to figure it out as you go. So
Yep.
it can get chaotic kind of quickly, but it's a lot of fun because the killer also doesn't
Oh, it
know what
is.
they're getting, which also is
Exactly.
kind of fun because you might get perks that yeah they'll help you as a killer, but they're not right for the situation you're in, right? So
Mhm.
it really just depends. Um, And then another question, so this is more of a killer question. So for the fair but firm killer game, how would you demonstrate putting pressure on survivors without hard tunneling at 5 gens? So that might be a scenario where you have to think back on a game that you played that you did really well with a killer and what you did to kind of succeed.
Hmm. Honestly, I feel like, having, like, any perks that have, um like, with the gens, like, there's, I forget all of them because there's so many to keep up with, but just, having a perk that has for the gen regression or, like, the corrupt, like, having all those, like, on you so that it puts pressure that they can't complete the gens as fast. So then if they
Right?
tried to gen rush or do anything, they're, like, kinda stuck in that factor. And then also knowing, like, where the gens are has helped me. Like, when I do play as killer, that's mostly, like, what I put as my builds are, like, the hex, builds, so that way, unless they cleanse, which not a lot do, not a lot of survivors can find them, quickly, and they don't take them out, so then it makes it easier to put a lot of pressure on that.
Yeah, I
So,
can agree.
honestly, that's what I look for. And yeah, just seeing like keeping awareness of where everybody is. And then, like I said, the gens will go off, or if people are doing things, then you have attention over here. It's all about knowing too where they are, like on the map, and staying consistent with um the gens.
I
To
agree.
me, that's what I do.
I agree with that. Um, I am going to do a quick pause here because I do need to take a quick bathroom break. So I'm going to put my BRB screen up for me. But Pink, if you want to continue
Okay.
holding the discussion while I'm gone, I will be right back. It won't take me long at all.
Okay. Sounds good. Or does
I
it
am
terrify
back.
you and yay, she's back.
Sorry, I
Hey,
had
Ghost,
to
how
go.
are you? It's okay. It happens.
Been over here drinking on like my water, and I had a coffee while we were doing troubleshooting stuff. So
No, you're good. Like I said, I apologize. I'm trying to do everything, but Ann, like it's all just trying to figure out meld stuff over like OBS stuff and all this other. It
that's
just
all good.
sometimes becomes crazy.
No need to be sorry. No need to be sorry. So uh, we were talking about pressure being a killer and how you can put that on players that are survivors. And I think you were thinking of an answer when I left. So what you got for me?
Oh yeah, no, I answered. I said mostly like the aura reading, like for the gens
Okay,
and
that's
like
right.
putting pressure on the gens. Yep.
Okay. I think that that's a good answer. I like to do something similar, but I also like to do it, especially if I'm playing as Nemesis. There's a perk that I put on him where you can see where the survivors start at the beginning of the game for like 3 to 4 seconds, so that you can kind of get some map awareness of where they're headed. I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember the name of the perk, but that's the one I like to use for him. And it kind of helps me out a lot because by this point, your zombies have spawned in 2 separate corners of the map usually, and they haven't really spotted anybody yet. But another thing I really like to do, and I kind of always make sure I do this on any um, killer, is I make sure that I kick a gen, even if I risk being flashbanged or what have you. I'm
Yep.
like, I need this generator to regress because usually on Nemi, I'm not bringing a perk that will regress the gen for me or lock the gen down. Um, if I'm on Pig, I do have Tinkerer, of course, because it just works so well with her kit. But I
Yep.
usually don't. I don't hard tunnel at 5 gens. I don't. I want everyone to have a good time and have fun and get like a full match out of it. So for me, it's map awareness, like you mentioned, but also making sure that if I notice a gen's being worked on, whether it's being worked on for a while or just a little bit, I'm gonna kick it. I gotta make sure it regresses.
I feel you on that. Yeah. Ghost says pop and barbecue are the two best pressure perks.
Nice. I think I've used barbecue once in one of my builds. And I don't think I've personally used Pop Goes the Weasel, but I do have a friend who plays and they use it as well. So I can understand where you're coming from for sure on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so the next topic of discussion for us is lore, secrets, and Easter eggs within Dead by
Hmm.
Daylight. This could pertain to um, character story, any hidden detail in a map, or any Dead by Daylight secrets that you've kind of found while playing the game, or something you've read about or seen someone
Hey,
else
Happy.
find.
Thanks for the lurk. Um, Not really, to be honest.
That's
Not
fair.
other than like the animation for like the Five Nights at Freddy's, like when it was released, and then that happened with the whole animation with finishing the gen inside the pizzeria or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, I don't really have like much awareness. Like honestly, when I'm in there, I just am full headset on like just getting gens done and like us rushing out.
Ghost says, "Girl, I have seen an EE on Midwich. I'll find the vid and send it to Pink."
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know. You guys know, like everyone who watches me and is here for the gameplays, like I'm so like oblivious to stuff. I mean, even in real life, like let alone in a game. Like I'm just I'm all over the place. So it's
You're
like
good.
unless people bring it to my attention, I'm just there having a fun time.
You guys can do or
Okay,
talk about it
sounds
next time.
good.
So Pink, explain to me what they mean by EE. I'm not sure I'm understanding what the short form of that
Uh
is.
I'm not either. I'm kind of lost.
Because Pookie, you're not. Oblivious, I think is what ghost means. So Ghost, what do you mean by EE? What is that, Easter egg? Okay, so
Okay, Easter egg.
pause, because at work we have an application called EE, and that's where my brain went. I was just like, I know they're not talking about it, but that's where my brain went. So cool. So Easter eggs. I think it's really cool that if you are on, and I think now that I understand what you're saying, Ghost, I know the one you're talking about for that map. So I won't
Mhm.
spoil it here for Pink. I'll let you sing the link to her and let her see it for herself. But the little,
Okay.
it's on the Yamaoka estate, and I know I just butchered that name. Um, where you find like the little raccoon. Like sometimes he spawns on the map, and you go up to him and like,
I've seen him,
yeah,
but what can happen?
you
Like,
interact with
what?
him, and it gives you an achievement if you interact with him.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
Ghost says yes. Pink is Pookie. Pink is Pinkie Pie for me.
Pinkie Pie.
But he gives
But
you
now
like a
I
little
have
achievement
purple, so you gotta think of some. You could say purple.
on Yamaoka.
Purple pie.
Stay on the side of the map somewhere. Yeah, you can find like the little raccoon. With the like the leaf. And if you click on him, like he goes poof, but you get like an achievement for it. Super cool. To kind of find. I've seen on Reddit and on TikTok where people talk about, oh, there are golden toolboxes hidden on every map. I've never seen it myself, but I've seen people talk about it. Um,
Ah, okay.
so take that with a grain of salt, because Dead by Daylight community sometimes just like, yep, this happened, but
I know Otaku always says something about it, but honestly, again, if he didn't say anything about it while we were playing together,
they're so
I would have
they
never
are
seen
cute,
that little
otaku. They are
feature.
cute.
I would have seen.
You found some of the golden
Um,
toolboxes, nice. I've never found
I
them,
haven't.
but say Levy. I think the coolest Easter egg that Pink and I have found recently was last night when we were playing, and we went to go rescue someone off the hook. It was at Shack, and the person wasn't on the hook. Their character was T-posed in the doorway of
Oh my
Shack.
gosh, I took a screenshot of it. I took a screenshot of it. Oh, and the second one, Anne, is whenever we were playing with Spy, and remember I went to go get him out of the cage, like of the
Yeah, he was in a
like
vending
the
machine.
hook, but it was yeah, he was stuck in the vending machine and
Yeah.
I couldn't pull him out for
Or the
a
little
couple
teddy bears
minutes.
on maps. I haven't. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Happy. I think we might be talking about the same thing, but um, I think those are cool. Just some cool little Easter eggs that you kind of find um in Dead by Daylight and enjoy, get achievements for, based on your experience, player experience. I guess I should say. Um,
Yeah.
of course, you have the golden Easter egg, golden toolboxes. Um, you have a fourth wall break with Ash versus Evil Dead. Apparently with Stranger Things, there is a basement secret room. I don't know what that means. Um, Lots of really cool
Yeah,
things
I've never
that you
seen
can
that.
get. So it's just cool that they have those things in there, I think, because some games don't really think about that kind of stuff. They just kind of like, oh, here's a character, or here's a map, or what have you. Of course, you have like the Hawkins map where there's like the dead scientist can only be entered if you blink as a nurse. I knew about that one. There's also on the Nostromo map, if you get the key card, you can go into that extra room, and there's like a chest in there or something. Um,
On Midwich, you need to do the gens in a way to open the door, find a key card. Hmm,
yeah, it's an Easter egg to the very first Silent Hill game where you do a similar
nice.
kind of puzzle without generators though. In the Michael
Gotcha.
Myers map, there are some paintings on a house wall that have the art concept of all Dead by Daylight maps. Um, the perk Calm Spirit does not work with every animal in Dead by Daylight as it should. Rats in the pigs map will still run away and squeak when you run by them as a survivor. So some kind of cool ins and outs there. On the Resident.
On the
Oh,
Red Forest.
yeah. Go ahead, Pink. Sorry.
Sorry.
You're good.
On the Red Forest temple map, if you do the gen downstairs in the temple, the door opens.
I knew about that one. Yeah, there's a few that I know about. I've seen, and there's plenty that I still have not seen. Uh, so, since we answered what's your favorite hidden detail on any map, so Pink, what is the best written character story, do you think? Has the best
These are
lore?
um you go first. To come back around.
I think
Um,
the person who has one of the best written backstories is probably the Wraith. Um,
okay.
Granted, his story is kind of tragic, but basically like how he gets pulled into the realm with the entity and all that kind of good stuff is very attention to detail, and it fits with
Mhm.
him as a character. It fits with his perks, and all around. Even though I am scared to death when people play Wraith because it's like, okay, you disappear and then you're just there, especially if they have the perk that makes the bell silent. Um, it's very well written and works very well with him in game.
True. Um, I like the artist.
Artist, okay.
Really. Yeah.
I haven't read her backstory, but I know that her design is interesting. I like how they designed her. Very cool.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to meet her in a dark alley, but she still looks cool. All right, so let's segue into our next topic here. Let's talk about features and community wish lists. So, um, what do you feel is something you wish was in Dead by Daylight, or something that they've added that you think shouldn't be in Dead by Daylight, or something that you know they're working on that you wish would come sooner? Taku says Houndmaster and artists were wrong and are justified in their anger.
Yes, Otako, yes.
I haven't read Houndmaster's backstory either, to be fair, so maybe I should go read up on that. I also haven't played Houndmaster. I've played against her plenty,
Oh,
just not played as her.
nice. All right, so go back into what you were saying, kind of more in depth.
So it's kind of like if you had a community wish list for Dead by Daylight, what do you wish was either in the game, would be in the game a bit more because they're already developing it, or something that's in the game that you think doesn't need to be there? Do you think that they should focus more on balancing, on more modes, more licenses? Should they? I know a big debate on Reddit and other media is why haven't they pushed the game to run in a higher version of Unreal? So you kind of got a bit of game mechanics that are a big topic. But what is something that you wish was in the game, not in the game, or something that they're developing that think should be in the game a lot faster or should be more um, higher up on their list in terms of development?
That's a hard one to answer. Um, these are good questions, Anne. I feel like there could be like a lot of answers, so that's what's like more so hard. Can't give like one specific answer. There's like a lot of things to go into like one answer. um, but I don't know. I feel like the game's pretty well already as it is. I don't really think I don't know what else that could be really added to it. Um
Or stuff toward killer would be fun. Okay, so kind of like in the
yeah.
winter events when you can like throw the snowballs at them, kind of, I
Yeah, I
guess.
feel like adding more different like maybe effects like not just like yeah, going for a hit or something like just make it a little bit uh like with the quests and achievements and stuff is always fun. Um,
I know some of the whacking the box in their face says happy.
yeah, that's funny. Happy.
Uh,
You make me laugh.
uh,
Um,
some of the top community wish lists that I was able to do in my research for this question is some people have thought about, well, what if there was like an offline mode with bots, um, where you can test perks and you can practice and you can learn killer powers without the pressure from other players. A casual match mode, so basically a separate mode that would reduce toxicity and allow players of all different skill levels to enjoy the game and learn without pressure of rank-based penalties. Um, some players have requested or have put into notes that they would like maps to be a little bit darker or more varied in size, which we kind of touched on earlier. And
mhm.
then some basically have said revamping underrated perks or underused perks or rebalancing items to keep gameplay fresh is a very common suggestion, as we've seen in the fan community for survivors and or keepers. And
Mhm.
a lot of people are requesting more licensed characters. Highly requested is Art the Clown, the Tall
Oh
Man,
yeah, yeah, I've seen that.
Candyman, Pumpkinhead, and then of course because we have the ghoul, people are saying Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, or for Survivor characters from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think that would be an interesting work in.
I've been seeing people really want Supernatural too.
Dude, that would work
Um,
so well.
yeah, yeah. So I've been seeing stuff like that. Now that you kind of go into it a little more, I would say the TV8 mode is my favorite mode. Um, that could be like not even just like for like when we have it like in the game completely, like permanently, even if it just came in as just customs, I feel like that would make it a lot more fun too, like to do custom games, not just 1v4, you know?
Yeah.
If you could do like the 2v8 but as customs, that would make it even more good. And also like I don't know, I'm pretty sure a lot of people do the same thing, but like when you're playing as customs or like for like wanting to get better, playing at the game, doing different things or just having fun with friends, it would make that part of the game
Yeah.
more
I
fun and enjoyable.
Yeah, I agree. I have so like my other friend group who likes to play Dead by Daylight, but only if we have 6 people and we do customs. They would play
Mm.
2v8 mode, but they only wanted to play it if it becomes a permanent game mode and they add it as a custom game mode. So kind of have that caveat of people who want to play the game, but they don't want to play online with other people. They just kind of want it to be a closed circuit with friends
Yeah.
or with
Hmm.
bots. Um, so I can kind of understand what people
It
mean.
would be cool if you could do costume but play against the killer bot instead. Or
Yeah,
instead
I wanted to piggyback off of
survivor
what
bots.
Happy said here. So, like, you know how when we're in a live match and like the killer DCs for whatever reason, it kicks us out to the end game screen and it gives us like points if we've been in the match long enough or
Mhm.
whatever. Would it be a cool feature to have where the killer is then either one substituted with a bot, or if there's someone in a queue waiting for a killer, but they have an option checked where they can be a substitute killer and they come in as that killer with already pre-selected perks. I think that'd be kind of cool. Kind of like in Marvel Rivals, you know how if a teammate DCs, they're kind of replaced with someone else.
Yeah, with somebody.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that'd be a cool feature. I don't know how they'd work it in, but it would be cool if, like, let's say we're midway, not even midway through a game, but we've got 2 gens done and we're working on, you know, healing, doing a reset, and for some reason the killer DCs because bad internet, computer shut off, whatever. And then we wait like not even a second later and someone else has already come in and that this is the killer they are and this is the perks they have and they kind of finish off the match. How would you feel about a option like that in the game?
I feel like it would work great in our favor.
Yeah, I mean it could. Of course they'd have to go through like testing and tweaking and all that, but it could be an option instead of like the
Yeah.
match just ending and you know,
Yeah, no,
could be a
I
cool
agree.
idea,
I
could
feel
be a
like
bad
it would
idea. I
it
don't
would
know.
be
I'm not
good.
on their development team, but it is an idea nonetheless.
It is, yes.
Um, Get our notes that we took.
No worries.
But if you have anything that you'd like to talk about, Pink, feel free to bring it up as well.
Yeah, I mostly have been going off of like what you say, and if I think of anything, say it. Um, I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, the 2v8 mode. What do you feel, Anne, when they got rid of the masquerade? Was that a favorite event to you? You played longer than I have, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
I haven't played much longer than you, maybe by a
No?
year. Um,
Oh, okay.
but I thought it was cool. I mean, I kind of get why it was their last event. I mean, it was 10 years, so I kind of get it. It's time to kind of move on and do something new. But
Mm-hmm.
kind of left people wondering, like, well, what are they going to do to replace it? What kind of event are they going to come up with? Because the Masquerade event kind of left people wanting more. The last one, like, people felt that it wasn't as good as previous events or things like that. It was just lacking overall, was the vibe I got from people talking about it on TikTok and other social media, Reddit, all that kind of good stuff. So they're going to kind of have
Yeah.
to knock it out of the park for their 11th year, and figuring out what they're going to do for their anniversary event. If anything, I mean, I feel like they'll do something for sure, but we'll see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll see what that is. But I'm curious too, just because I enjoyed it when I played it, when it was the last one. Um, I feel like it was just pretty fun. Is there an event gameplay that you don't really like? One that you haven't?
Um, I don't think so because I have never played the My Little Oni game event that was a thing for a while there. Looked interesting, but I never got the chance to play it. I like when they do um the extra like blood points where they'll give you like a significant more amount of blood points. I do like
Hmm.
that. Um, I think that's kind of cool. When they do like their I guess blood rushes is what they're called for in game. I do really enjoy the 2v8 game mode. I'm hoping that maybe by the end of the year it's a full blown game mode and it stays in and they'll kind of have, you know, everybody where they're supposed to be and they can just continue adding killers to that if they want to. Um,
Right.
I do enjoy the I did enjoy the Bone Chill event that they had during Christmas and up until past New
Yeah.
Year's. I did really enjoy that, and then the Haunted by Daylight, I did enjoy that as well. That was one of my favorite ones, where you kind of got to go into that other little realm for a bit and get a crystal, and I did enjoy that. That was a lot of fun. Um,
Hmm.
I did enjoy when we played on the PTB right before the Walking Dead chapter came out, and we got to play as the Walking Dead characters, and we got to test the new file, the vial fog vial that they had.
Yep.
Because I remember there's you and I were playing, and Huntress had just downed you, and I go and I drop the fog vial and I save you because she couldn't see where we were because it was so thick. It has then since been patched. You can't really kind of blind a killer with this now, which is sad. But
Yeah.
I was able to get you up full health because she could not find where we were, and we were able to kind of run out of there unscathed. So that was kind of cool. Being able to test out and be introduced to new items is always kind of neat and fun. Um, but yeah, I can't really say that I have one big favorite in-game event because I do really like Haunted by Daylight and Bone Shield. They're kind of really close together for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So far I've enjoyed, like I said, I've only been playing since last year really, so I don't know all the things that have happened, or the events really, but the ones that I really liked the most was probably the Masquerade, but since that's gone, but I do enjoy the 2v8, and the Haunted was fun, and then the Bone Chill. So I feel like they're all like different and fun.
Otaku says, "What was your take on the game mode with the fog crystals?" That's what we were just talking about, I think. Or maybe we are talking about a different game mode, but I like that. I enjoyed that. I didn't mind it so
Yes.
much. I think that was the Haunted by Daylight event. I liked it.
Daylight, yep.
I thought it was pretty cool. Could it be tweaked a little bit? Yeah, for sure. There's always room for improvement, but I liked it. And then since we had to jump into the portal, yeah, the portals and things. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Mhm.
I think that it's kind of scary to then be chased by the killer into the same portal. um, so you kind of had to be quick with your thinking, and it always sucked to get out and then you'd be in a different spot on the map. That was always wild to me. Because you
Yeah.
have to get your bearings. But I did like it. I think it would be cool to have custom settings you could turn on in custom mode. So like if you wanted to run like a custom match, but you wanted to have the portal option for that, I think that'd be cool to turn on. Or if you wanted to
Oh,
have
for sure.
like the snowmen around the map, I think that'd be cool. I think they should add more customized options to custom game mode as well.
Yes, I agree.
We
Yeah.
are right at the 2-minute mark, Pink. We're kind of at the end of our big discussion topics. So if there's anything else you want to talk about, or if you have anything you want to bring up that we can continue talking about, but if not, kind of just go over the big things that we've talked about and things happening in Dead by Daylight before we hop off. Up to you.
Okay. Um, I think I kind of covered like as much of the new things and the like old things kind of leaving for tomorrow, but um I'm excited for the new changes. I know you asked me the questions, but like how do you feel about everything that's changed and do you feel like the game is improving as it's going along or do you feel like it's what type of point do you think?
Um, I feel that the game is always going to be in a state of flux because you're always going to have events that bring players in. You're going to have changes that make players leave, or people just getting burnt out from the game in general. But
Mhm.
if we're to look at the stats today, currently there are 55,000 players online playing Dead by Daylight. And the highest peak it's had within the last 7 months is 120,000. So I think it's in a healthy, stagnated state, but they're gonna have to kind of keep that up and running with like changes and making sure that they are doing things that make players happy to the best of their ability. Because again, you have some people who come in and they only play killer, so they don't understand the survivor side, and then you have the opposite of that as well. So it's
Right.
really kind of a double-edged sword. Like they're not going to be able to always make one person happy, but they're trying to find that nice balance, which I think is what they're trying to do with the anti like tunneling and camping system that they're trying to implement. I
Mhm.
think because they are a small studio, I think we also kind of put a lot of pressure on them because we're like, oh, well, behavior should do this, if behavior should do that, if behavior would just do this. And a lot of times we're not looking at it from a point of, well, maybe they only have, 5 people who can work on this one thing, and only 3 of them work on this half of it, and the other 2 work on something else that deals with it, but not the problem entirely. So I think we kind of forget that these are people like and a lot of people just end up talking shit about behavior, but you kind of got to do what you got to do. It's a 10-year-old game, and while I would love for them to upgrade to the newest version of Unreal and the game could look a lot better and everything, they've kind of already stated that they're not ever going to do that because it would just be too big of a project. They'd probably have to go the Overwatch route, and it would end up being like Dead by Daylight 2 or Dead by Daylight, Alive by Dawn or whatever they want to call it. Um,
Yeah.
so I think the game is in a good state right now, but they are gonna have to just constantly be working hard to keep it up without it being like so stagnant and losing more player interaction because this is their 11th year and they're just gonna have to kind of reel people in. I mean, you got Michael Myers leaving, the Cenobite's gone. So you kind of have to think about like, yeah, Stranger Things 2 comes out soon and it's going to draw people in for sure. No question about it, but what are they going to do to kind of keep that momentum up? That was a really long spiel. I'm
Right.
sorry.
No, it was good. I was listening. Makes sense. And I agree.
um But if you're good, I can close this out and we can read out to somebody if you want.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we just want to thank everybody for joining us for State of the Fog. This was a timeline that Pink and I kind of put together and went over. This is a panel from two of the four members of the Fogbound crew. We're super happy that you guys have
Yep.
been with us today. But our big topics that we talked about today were the fact that tomorrow at 11 a.m., the Halloween chapter will be leaving the store. So you
We'll
are
be
going to
gone.
lose the shape, Lori, and the map. We talked about the fact that on the 27th of January, Stranger Things Chapter 2 releases, so Vecna, Eleven, and Dustin, and some awesome skins to go with them. And then we touched
Yep.
base on the fact that even though this happened in 2025, you had the Cenobite leave the store, but we also got the Five Nights at Freddy chapter, so we kind of had a trade off there of losing and gaining something. So we've had a lot of really good things come and go. 2v8 mode will be coming back at some point in 2026. We've got a new map coming out in March of 2026, so stay tuned. Pink and I will probably be doing more panels like this. We'll probably have the rest of the Fogbound crew on as well, which includes Otaku Boy and Wake Plays Games. But we are happy
Yep.
that you guys joined us today. This will be on the podcast as well. I'm going to export our audio Pink and put it on my podcast. So I'll send the link to you and you can give that to your as well. But
Awesome.
it's
Thank you.
been a really good time. I think we talked about a lot of really good subjects and it was a
Yes.
lot of fun.
It was definitely a lot of fun. And like Anne said, we're happy you guys made it here. This was our first one, but there will be more. And, just us talking about everything. And then if the whole Fog Bound crew joins as well, then it'll be just as fun. So thank you for being here.
Who would you like to read out to, Pink?
Um, I'm not sure really who's on. I don't know if you want to see, and then we can go from there.
God.
Thanks, Expectic, for being here.
Looks like J-Rod is streaming right now.
Okay, you can read to him.
Ready? Let's do it.
Let's see.
Thanks everybody for joining us.
Yes, and until next time, we will be
Thanks,
back on
Flo.
Tuesday nights. Tuesday nights, we'll be back. Uh,
Yes. Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Fogbound crew, Dead by Daylight. Come hang out and join us. If for those of you in my chat who aren't following Pink, be sure you do go and follow her. I think
yes,
most people already
definitely
are.
follow Ian.
Um,
Yeah.
but we appreciate you guys hanging out, and we hope to see you guys soon.
Yes. Have a good rest of your guys' night.